Hey everyone, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2021 Ford F-150, we're going to be showing you how to install the Roadmaster 12-volt outlet kit. But before we do that, let's check this out and make sure it's going to be right for you. This outlet kit is going to be for those of you who are looking to use a portable type braking system like this old Brake Buddy here. And that's because the vast majority of these portable ones get power from a plug like this, you know, kind of your classic cigarette lighter type plug, 12-volt power plug. And the reason that you would need a kit to power something like this up, because with this these F-150s, when you're in flat tow mode, your factory one will be inactive. It ain't gonna have power, right? So your system isn't gonna receive that power. With outlet kit though, you can hook it up directly to the battery. That way it has power all the time, regardless if your truck's in flat tow mode or not. On our truck, I have the socket mounted up right here, and it comes with a little bracket, which is pretty convenient because you can kind of tuck this up out of the way to where you don't see it. But this easily pulls out of that bracket, and if you give yourself a little slack in the wiring there, you can kind of pull that to you, make it easier to plug in your supplemental braking system. This outlet is going to be capable of handling 20 amps, so that's more than enough for the vast majority of these supplemental braking systems out there. And you can always use it for other accessories too, you know, maybe to charge your phone, or maybe a small tire inflator, something along those lines. Now with that said, with this particular kit, to put it on our truck, I did have to use quite a bit of extras. I needed some extra wiring and different types of connectors and everything. And with that in mind, even though this one will work just fine and get the job done, for the F-150, I feel like there is a better kit out there that would be more suited for a vehicle like this. It's made by Demco. It'll accomplish the same thing, but it comes with you know, more wiring and a few of those extra connectors and stuff. Just more of a complete kit. It makes a little more sense for our Ford truck here than this one, but it'll still work. No big deal there. But other than that, at the end of the day, you know, it's pretty straightforward. If you're using a supplemental braking system when you flat tow, and it uses that 12-volt outlet type plug, this is going to be something that you're going to need to think about picking up so you can power everything up. As far as the installation goes, it's really not bad. You know, like I said, we had to use a few extras. They had to use about, say, 10 to 12 foot of extra wiring, and you know, a couple ring terminals and butt connectors, things of that nature to get it done. But you just run it through the firewall into the engine compartment, over to the battery, mount up your socket there. That's really all there is to it. So feel free to hang around. We'll go ahead and get started on it now. To begin our installation, we're going to be working here in the front seat of our F-150. And first thing that you want to do is take your power cord here, and they give you a bracket, and put the bracket over the ends of the wire like this. All right, we'll just feed that all the way through. Just kind of snap that in for now. Eventually we'll mount this up to somewhere underneath the dash. But now what I'm going to do, since these are going to have to get ran into the engine compartment, we do have a factory grommet under the dash that we can utilize, but it's not very big, and I don't really want to enlarge it any more than we have to. So I feel like this will have a hard time kind of fitting through there, and I'm just going to cut it off, and we can reattach it later. Just if you do it this way, remember what's what, you know. So for example, our fused end here, which will go to power, has some little white letters on the wiring. If you need to put a piece of tape or mark it, do what you need to do. I'll cut that, and then I'll pass this end through the grommet and the firewall into the engine compartment, and I'll show you how it turned out. I was able to pass our wiring through that grommet, and here's where it is located. In the engine compartment, this is where our power wire came through, and it's definitely going to fall short considering our battery is all the way over on the passenger side. So we're going to extend it, and to do that you can just carefully cut in between there. And peel them apart a little ways. And then I like to just kind of clip off a ½ inch or so. Just give us a fresh start in case we, nicked one of the wires and we were separating them. Then you can strip the insulation back. Give that wire a twist. Do the same thing with this one. And I have some wiring here. And since we're extending it, I decided to increase the size or thickness of the wiring that we're extending. So this is 14 gauge wire, and this factory stuff here is 16. So a little bit thicker diameter, shouldn't lose as many amps, going over a longer distance. And I probably have 10 or 12 foot total of this. And since I have the same color, I just put some blue tape on one just to know, what one's the power wire, and keep everything sorted. So with that said, I put one butt connector on already. I'll take another one, slide that over, crimp it down, and then hook them up to our factory wiring here. I'm sorry, the original wiring. And I'm using these heat shrink style of connectors, which is what I recommend, especially, being somewhat exposed to elements and everything under the hood. We'll come back with our heat source and seal up the ends. I got our wiring routed over, and it's just loosely routed now. Once we get everything working, I'll come back, zip tie it up, make it look good and everything. But I brought it over here to the battery, and I did a couple things. One of them, I just crimped on a ring terminal and attached it to the negative post on our battery here, so that's the ground. And the positive side's gonna essentially work the same way, except I took our fuse holder, another butt connector, connected it to the power wire there, and on the other end of the fuse holder, I changed out that little spade terminal that was on there originally to a ring terminal. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull the fuse out for now, because I don't want it to be hot when we're mounting up the socket. And we can come to our power post and remove this nut. This nut is going to be an 11 millimeter, so we'll remove that. And I just try to kind of hold down on the factory wires while I'm doing this so they don't lose connection. And this is another wire from a charge line I installed earlier on. I was just waiting to do this so I could do it all at once. But we'll take this end of our fuse holder, put that on the post, and we can reinstall the nut. Moving back inside of the truck, we can get our connector plug mounted up, and we're going to be working underneath the dash right here in this area. I got our connector plug mounted, and there's just a little piece of metal that was under the dash that I utilized. You could screw it right to that if you wanted. I opted to just, I have another little piece of metal that I had laying around, connected it to that just to kind of extend it over and get an easier shot at it when we go to plug everything in. So at this point, once you have it mounted up, go ahead, put the fuse in the holder, and we can test it out. We're using our plug here for a portable type supplemental braking system. So I got that set up, and once we plug this in, our system should get power. So turned on, it's filling up full air, kind of doing its thing, so we know it's getting power, and our connector plug is working properly. With all that done though, we're good to go, and that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Roadmaster 12 volt outlet kit on our 2021 Ford F-150.